What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters, taking your request to open the Modern event deck. I realized I got a little behind. I was actually out of town when a lot of stuff came out, and based on the modern deck's relative level of dissatisfaction with the Modern event deck, I just never opened it. But it's available on Amazon for just under $60. And I'll put a description in the link below to check it out. And this, again, this is Wizards' first try. I'm sure that their first event deck for Standard wasn't very good either. But what we have is get started with Deep Strategy, Modern format in style. Draw on rare, high-powered Magic cards from past sets with this tightly constructed 60-card deck. Also includes a 15-card sideboard, strategy guide, spin down, 80 exclusive sleeves. That must be the 80 sleeves is their justification to charge you $60 instead of $20. 5 tokens and a deck box. This is the March of Multitudes deck. Black-white tokens. You may know it as leaders like Elspeth Knight Errant generate an army of token creatures, while spells like Intangible Virtue and Honor of the Pure inspire them to victory. While white removal cards, along with Black Disruption, keep your opponent off balance until you can strike the killing blow. Definitely like a little higher quality box. Again, Modern is a very expensive format, and so I think I have mixed feelings. So if you want like a introduction to Modern, I think this is a great way. It'd be difficult to, just kind of, if you don't know anything about the format, just to put together your own deck. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Kind of getting Standard. I'm kind of bored with it. It's kind of a natural progression, I think, to go to Modern. Wizards is obviously pushing Modern very hard. And why wouldn't they, right? With the Modern event deck, I think the idea is to get more people into their events. Very nice box, honestly. Pretty cool sleeves, too. So we have our sideboard. We'll go through that second. There's nothing, there's no surprises in here. You have, these are actually pretty cool sleeves. I might use these. They're actually pretty cool. Very cool, actually. Nice to see a little nicer quality, and the spin down is actually really rad too. It's like a gray, like gunmetal gray with blue. Pretty rad. Here you have kind of, and this will be important to people who are new to Modern, you get kind of playing the deck. So tells you kind of how to play the cards. And for example, explains like what to do with the sideboard. The sideboard tells you what it is, and it's stronger against certain opponents. So you have your full deck list and everything right here. There are no surprises in this deck. So again, like I said, there are some cards that desperately need a reprint. Some like $5, $10 uncommons that definitely needed a reprint. I am of the mindset that Wizards just should have thrown a Marsh Flats in here and been done with it. I mean, that's my opinion. It's kind of the recipe they've used with their event decks. I mean, if you're not going to make something tier 1 competitive, then at least give me value. We have 2 Soul Wardens, 2 Tide Hollows, 3 Tide Hollows, Scholars, 3 Path to Exiles. It's a premium removal, right? Inquisition of Kozilek. I think that's something that needed to be reprinted, I'm pretty sure. Shrine of Loyal Legions. You got 2 of those. Couple 3 Honor the Pure is very good. Again, that's really what's driving your tokens. Intangible Virtue as well. Just pumping up your tokens. Then you've got Raise the Alarm to create more tokens. Zealous Persecution. An instant to when you want to strike. A random sort of Feast and Famine. So yeah, I'm happy it's in here because it gives me a few bucks back. if I have to part this deck out and sell it. But from what I can tell, even of the swords, there are better swords for this deck. Then you have Lingering Souls, which is very good. Pump out your tokens. Spectral Procession. And here, the last card, you have your Elspeth Knight Errant, which was recently reprinted in Modern Masters and again now in this dual deck, so there should be plenty of Elspeth out there. You have her +1 is put a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield. Plus another +1 is target creature gets 3/3 and gains flying till end of turn. And her -8, you get an emblem with artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and lands you control have indestructible. So, okay. So I think overall, very fun deck to play. Could you go into like a GP and win? No. Could you go to an FNM and win? Probably not. Could you have a ton of fun? Sure. Could you improve this deck? Absolutely. You have your, I think there's another reprint, Caves of Koilos, 4 of. City of Brass, which doesn't make a ton of sense in here unless they just wanted to reprint it. I mean, you know, they just printed Mana Confluence, which is, you know, basically the same thing, right? And I don't know. And then you have 4 Isolated Chapels, which really makes 0 sense to me. I mean, when you could print Godless Shrines or put Godless Shrines in here, if you would have put 4 Godless Shrines in here, this thing would have sold like hotcakes. You wouldn't even had to put a Marsh Flats in here. Vault of the Archangel. And then here's another card that needed reprinting, I guess. Windbrisk Heights, very good. This has got Hideaway. So it enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, and put the rest on the bottom of your library. And then you can bring that card out. So very fun card. And then you have your basic plains and your basic swamps. So I'm obviously kind of looking at this deck after the fact. Well, let's look at the sideboard. You've got some pretty nice uncommons in here, and you've got your tokens and stuff like that. You've got your Relic of Progenitus. It's a 4 of, or 3 of, sorry. Burnt and Forge Tender when you play red. 3 Duress. You've got a Kataki's War Wage here. All artifacts have at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the artifact unless you pay 1. And then you have a Dismember. Nice little premium or a nice removal spell that can be cast with either land or life. You have a Ghost Quarter. So for those of you that just play... Oh, and they give you an Elspeth... at least they give you the Elspeth token. That's a couple bucks. And then you have your Spirit tokens. And Mirror tokens, so they're double-sided. Hopefully you're going to need more than 4 tokens, but a lot of people will just use a dice instead. So a lot of you are going to ask, you know, is it worth it? I think if you can get it for under 60 bucks, you know, maybe some of these cards go up. And, you know, it's worth it, at least from that standpoint. But remember, you're never going to... I mean, yes, could I go sell that Elspeth in 5 minutes? Yeah. There's not a lot of other cards in this deck that are real super liquid. You know, if you're looking to just figure out Modern, it's a much more complicated and diverse format. You face a ton of different decks instead of just 5 or 6. I mean, if you look at like the top 16 decks in the last standard like Star City event, you know, there's like 4 variants, maybe 5, where Modern has many, many, many possibles and many that will that are very likely to be able to be competitive. Black-white tokens is a thing. This build of it maybe isn't the greatest. However, if you want to get into Modern and you want to start somewhere and you're not a great deck builder and you don't really want to go out and spend $500 and get all your fetch lands and build a tier 1 Modern deck, I still think this is a great buy. Wasn't a huge hit. I mean, if it would have if they would have put a Marsh Flats in it, that would have been $120 anywhere you went anyway. So I think you kind of get what you pay for. It's not a bad value, especially with the sleeves and a nice spin down and the box to carry it in and everything. And I think it's a great way for standard players to get an idea of the complexities of Modern. I mean, in Standard, we play lands that do nothing but just give us land. Some of them maybe cost us life to give land, but most Standard decks nowadays, they don't do anything. Well, once you get to Modern, you start getting lands that really need to do stuff for you. Vault of Archangel, creatures you control gain Death Touch and Lifelink till end of turn. Windburst Heights, just getting used to playing those kind of cards and playing that strategy, I think, is a great way to decide whether or not you're going to like Modern. You're not going to win every event you're not going to win your events with this deck, but you'll be able to go and upgrade it and have a little fun and learn what Modern's all about. And I'm pretty sure that's what Wizards really wanted. So overall, I think if you want to try out Modern, I think this deck is not bad if you can get it for under $60. But it's an event deck, right? People had really high expectations because, everyone thought they were going to reprint fetch lines, and then when they didn't put a fetch line in here, everyone kind of wanted to hate on it. But I feel like I've told you everything you need to know about it. I think it's great if you want to learn. It's great if you want to get into Modern. If you have friends and you play in a casual Modern, you just want a different deck, right? You just want to have a Modern deck. I think this works great. Price tag's right. So you just have to decide if you want to play black-white tokens. So this goes out to those of you who are requesting it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check out the deck, I put the link in the description below. You can check it out on Amazon. And I hope to talk to you again real soon. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, check out some of our most popular playlists from MTG vlogs, sick gameplay videos, new product breaks, and some insane vintage openings. I upload 3 to 4 new Magic the Gathering videos every week, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to crush that subscribe button to join one of the fastest growing Magic the Gathering channels on YouTube. Talk to you later.